Hey traders, this is Jeff from ZenTrader.ca with a market update for Black Friday. Interesting markets we've got going on. And you can see here in the NASDAQ 60-minute that the market's on what is usually a bullish week with a shortened holiday Thanksgiving week. We normally rally. Nothing doing here. Every time the market even thinks about it, we gap and move lower. But we are seeing some signs here that we are starting to get into oversold territory. I kind of think we're going to bounce now, unless we just have another flash crash, which is kind of a possibility given all the macro issues that we have going on. But you know, we don't know if that's going to happen. So let me just show you what I think, or rather, let me just show you the positive, I guess, if you want to call them that, the positive signs that lead me to think we could bounce, and we will leave the flash crash predictions to other people. So, I mean, obviously, right here we've got a bullish falling wedge. I mean, and we've got positive divergence on the RSI. That's one thing. Number two, you've got the 4-day EMA almost outside its lower Keltner channel. Generally, when it's the 4-day EMA is outside the upper or outside the lower, it indicates a time to pull back and a time that the market could rally. So if we had one more, if we gap down on Friday, which, you know, it's going to be a light volume day, I don't really expect a whole lot. So maybe we have a sideways action on Friday and then we gap down on Monday. That's a possibility. I think that's going to be the gap to potentially buy for a short-term trade. We'll have to reevaluate it over the weekend. But if we do gap down any significant amount on Friday, could be a potential long trade there, very short term, and just to kind of capitalize on some of this oversold nature of the markets. Here you've got the one thing that I'm looking for also is volume is declining, and generally, and I believe it's the same on the NASDAQ. I don't have volume on this chart, but I don't remember seeing a large pickup in volume. That's kind of another clue that I'm kind of watching. You can see here that when we broke out of this wedge, this is about 600 points. From top to bottom here is about 600 points. So the measured move, I would say the minimum for the measured move to be met is in, but I really want to see a big increase in volume. You know, I really want to see like a 1.3, 1.5 billion share day. Or wait, I'm thinking on the NASDAQ. I think I'm confusing a chart. But essentially, I want to see a significant increase in volume to let me know that the capitulation is starting to kick in. So speaking of volatility, this is another thing that's kind of lacking, is that the VIX isn't really any significant price increase over its 10-day EMA. So I really want to see this like 10, 12, 15% above its 10-day EMA. Currently it's at 4. And then finally, this is a really key important chart, and this is really at oversold levels. We can go a little bit more, but we almost always bounce when we get down here. There's should be a green arrow here, so you can kind of see here we didn't even make it, and there was a significant bounce. So yes, we have a lower high here, and there are a lot of other things that aren't so good. We've got a declining 200-day moving average, but I think we'd be good for a bounce back to the 50. That would be a 50-point, about a 50-point move on the SPX. That's not too bad. That gives us some room to play. So I don't think it's all bearish out there.